The rejection rate for language course visas is way above average. But why is that? In this video, I'm going to explain the most common mistakes and hurdles and rejection reasons when it comes to language course visas. Language course visas are very popular in certain countries. And that is not only because certain nationalities are interested in learning the German language, it is also because language course visas have no real requirements. You don't need to have family in Germany, you don't need to have a job in Germany, you don't need to have a recognized degree. The only requirement for a language course visa is that you're enrolled in a language course in Germany. And because there are only little requirements for language course visas, it is abused a lot. A lot of foreigners, especially from Africa and Central Asia, come to Germany on a language course visa, and after they have done or not done the language course, they just stay in Germany. So language course visas are actually used a lot for illegal immigration to Germany. And because language course visas are used a lot, the foreign mission do actually check very carefully if your application is plausible. What does plausible mean? It basically means that the clerk at the embassy believe that you actually want to enter for language course and that you will leave Germany after you have completed the language course. So the embassies try to avoid abuse with language course visas. It's basically the same principles as for Schengen visas. In Schengen visa applications, you also have the requirements of the willingness to return to your home country, Rückkehrbereitschaft. And the same assessment is done for language course visas. But in which cases do the clerks actually believe that you are eligible for a language course visa and that you don't want to abuse your option of coming to Germany? There are some common cases where it is not really debatable that your application is plausible. So, for example, if you already have studied German in your home country. So, if you can present an A1 language certificate or any other proof of language skills, then your application seems to be plausible. Also, if you have studied something that has somehow a connection to Germany. So, for example, German culture or German arts or whatever. Another very easy way to prove your motivation for actually learning the German language is if you have a connection to German businesses in your home country. So you are running a hotel business, which is very popular amongst German travelers. Or you're working in a company which is somehow related to Germany or has a German desk or German customers. Another way to argue that it is possible that you will return to your home country is if you show that you have strong ties in your home country. So, for example, you have family, like you have kids in your home country, you have a good job in your home country, you have financial resources, real estate, something that makes it easy to believe that you have a valuable life in your home country, and this you will return to your home country. On the other hand, there are a lot of reasons which make your application unplausible. So in some cases, it is really hard to argue that you actually want to learn the German language and that you actually return to your home country after finishing the language course. What are those cases? Firstly, overstays in the past or abuse of visas in the past. If you already have an overstay in your case file or Ausländerzentralregister, then the clerk will most likely not believe that you will not abuse your new language course visa, and in that case, you will get a rejection. Also, handing in different types of e-visa applications in the past. If you handed in a visa for application for family reunion in the past, and that application got rejected, and now you're applying for a language course visa, it is pretty obvious that you're trying to basically get the family reunion visa by applying for a language course visa, and that you will not leave Germany after the language course. So that is also a very common rejection reason. And lastly, a very common reason of rejection for language course visas is if you're from a poor country and you have no ties in your home country. If you're applying for some country in Central Asia or Africa, you have no family in your home country, you have no job in your home country, you have no financial resources, and your educational history doesn't really make the clerk believe that you're in Germany for studying the language, then your language course visa will most likely be rejected because of the lack of willingness to return, fehlende Rückkehrbereitschaft, or because it is implausible. So all in all, which language course visa applications are plausible and which are not? The most important factor is usually the country where you apply. If you're applying from a very poor country and you have no strong ties to your home country, then the clerks mostly believe that you would abuse the language course visa. A strong language course visa application has usually some kind of educational or economical background. You're working with German customers, you have studied German, you want to move to Germany for work, and already have an employment contract. So basically it is about how well could you explain in the visa interview why you want to move to Germany with a language course visa. And if you have a good explanation, your application will be approved. On the other hand, if you have no real answer on why you want exactly to move to Germany and not to Belgium or Spain or whatever, then the clerk will most likely think that your application is implausible, and then it will be rejected.